All right, gentlemen. Well, let's take care of this daily puzzle tournament style. For those of you who are new, what we do is look at the situation and I run through the 4 elements of my system and we figure out what moves we need to play to get the job done before we move pieces. There are a few exceptions to that rule, but that's the general thing. We're trying to play this like a tournament game because the old coach said, you play like you practice. You practice, like a real game, you're going to play like it's a real game. So let's get with it. All right. For those of you who are new, my system consists of really 4 elements. We look at checks, captures, piece contacts, and board situation. You can do this in any order, doesn't matter. Board situation, it's one of those things that comes and goes. Sometimes, you look at the position and you get a gut reaction feeling. So like the first thing that came to my mind is that this guy is threatening to play pawn takes our queen, and I'm not having any of that. Okay. So what do we have check wise? Rook E1 check? That's it. How about captures? Well, we have queen takes G4, queen takes D5, and bishop takes A6. That's all of those. Not a lot to look at there. Piece contacts, which would be something like rook D4. We also had rook takes B4. I missed that one, but we're okay. Got it covered. Queen, H4, G5, F5, E5, actually, hitting the rook in the corner. Bishop C6, bishop C4, bishop E2. All of those are good. Rook E2 is another piece contact move. So that's not too promising, to tell you the truth. So this one, well, now I have way more experience. For those of you who don't know, I have been playing chess for over 50 years. So I already figured out what I need to do, because this is a different kind of problem. This is an experience problem. So we're going to do something a little more advanced. So what we're going to do is look at this. What we need to do, we are an exchange down. The board situation is that if we don't win a ton of material or checkmate this guy, we're dust. He's going to cash that A pawn, or that A pawn will cost us a bishop, in which case he's a rook ahead and he's going to cash that, no question. So we're in a dire circumstance. As my father would say, the situation is deep freeze. So let's look at this check business again. We could play rook E1 check. Problem is, he's just going to take it. And he has to take it. He can't move his king. So what happens is that, what happens if he takes it? Hey, it doesn't cost you anything, right? So this sort of is like one of the techniques I use, and I mentioned, and I have other videos, you can find them, called the brute force technique. Brute force technique is like go after the king and see what happens. Hey, it's not going to cost you anything. We're doing this in our mind, using our visualization powers. So let's say, what if I go to rook E1 check? He has to take it, rook takes rook, right? Well, what do we have after that move? We have, well, hopefully you see the most obvious move to me. If you don't see it immediately, take a minute or two, pause the video, and see if you can figure out what it is. And we'll be right back. Okay, folks, we're back. So hopefully, if you pause the video, you found queen takes d5 check. It's pretty much game over. So when we looked at because what's going to happen is he's going to move and we're going to get him on g2 with checkmate, right? So here's the dealio. This covers one of the, I'm not going to say most common, but it's the mistake that happens even to the top grandmasters. And this is a mistake I call stopping your analysis too soon. One move, two moves, however many moves too soon before you get to the point of seeing the killer move. So watch this. We're going to play this move now. Rook to e1 check. This is the correct move, by the way. Fairly obvious. Now you can see, hopefully, queen takes d5 is a devastating move. And he's toast. All right? It's checkmate Charlie. So when we were looking at the check, the only check move we had was rook to e1 check. We looked at rook to e1 check. Now, I said it, you know, in a very straightforward way because I didn't want to give it away. I knew when I said it was the right move, but the point was I wanted you to look at other things as well. And what you see is that if you just look at rook e1 check, oh, he plays rook takes rook and we lost a rook. And most people tend to quit analyzing at that point. Well, you know, and that cost you because it turns out, you know, that is the move. But you've got to look at it, and the laziness of your mind will do this. So we have to fight this tendency to be mentally lazy. We want to look at these moves and go, hey, let's look at these moves and just see, you know, what's going on. Let's not be, you know, let's not sell ourselves too short. So that's the lesson that's really even more important than just looking at this problem and going, oh, rook to e1 check, I found that move, okay. Which if you found rook to e1 check, that's fantastic. You know, most of you guys don't find that move. But if you do find it, you know, that is a killer move to find. But there's an extra lesson in that you want to try and be as logical as you can. You know, you want to be like Mr. Spock. You don't want to be caught up in the, you know, excitement, whatever. You just want to be pure logic. Rook to e1 check. What is he going to do? Well, he's got to take it. He can't move his king. And if it's a terrible move like bishop a4 or bishop takes a6, those moves are rotten. I mean, those are just horrible moves. But like I said, you're going to give your bishop away, and you know, rook ahead, he's going to crush you. He's going to crush me too. He's going to crush everybody. So that's the thing I wanted you to do, is get this, you know, this killer lesson of don't. I mean, it happens all the time. There's nothing you could do to stop it. You can just reduce it. You don't want to cut your analysis short, and only experience and practice is going to help you. But you need to see this in a problem before you can solve that problem. You know, so, you know, work on your visualization. You should look at this and go rook to e1 check. He plays rook takes rook. We go queen takes d5 check, king to g1, and then queen to g2 is checkmate. That's only 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 piece moves. It's not very difficult. You should be able to see those moves. If you don't, work on it some more. Do this at every problem, and you'll be in good shape. So, like, comment, subscribe. You guys know what to do. This way you'll get more and more of my killer videos. So I will see you guys later.